What's going on YouTube? It's your boy JPTHEGLOVE74 back with another video. Today I'm going to react to Superkick Studios WrestleMania the 30s 2014 to 2023 full decade retrospective. Superkick Studios puts out really great content, and I'm going to react to one of his. If this is your first time, this is JPTHEGLOVE74. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And also, before I get in this video as well, I just want to let y'all know I will not be doing any UFC or mixed martial arts reaction anytime soon. I just want to focus more on my wrestling content since my wrestling was doing so well on social media. So I just want to focus more on that. I will eventually get into more UFC mixed martial arts, but that'll be in the near future. Right now, I'm just going to focus on more of my wrestling content. Let's get into this video right here.
From Daniel Bryan's crowning moment to the heist of the century to Cody Rhodes' legendary return, the streak ending, the women's revolution, the return of legends, the retiring of others, complete disasters and moments which will live on much later than you and I will be alive for.
Oh, yes.
The 30s and WrestleMania had it all. This era marked a change towards a new generation in the WWE. From 2014 to 2023, every year gave us a time capsule as to what was going on in the company. Sometimes it was a failure, other times it was one of the biggest smash hits that the WWE produced.
Definitely.
With each passing Mania, we got a new installment to add to the legacy of not only the show's rich history, but the 30s as a 10-year time frame. The decade was filled with so much, starting in New Orleans and everything capping off in Hollywood with WrestleMania 39. With that chapter closed, it's time to take a look back at the highs, the lows, and everything in between from WrestleMania in the 30s. The story of the 30s begins with the classic tale of WrestleMania 30. And look, this show has been covered ad nauseum. We all know the moments, we know the stories, and the triumph at the end. But despite it having been talked about so much, we can't just gloss over it because this show was a milestone for the WWE.
It was.
And what happened is a story that's very important in the history of the company overall. It was April 6, 2014. The location was Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. On a night where WrestleMania hit the big 3-0, it started off with three of the most influential men in WWE's history. Men who are Mount Rushmore stars. Men who defined WrestleMania. Stone Cold, The Rock, and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
And what this was the company
This was really good.
These three guys were responsible for making WWE what it became. They each carried the company for a portion of time. And though the segment as a whole wasn't anything too crazy, it was special because of the star power in that 20 by 20. The biggest blunder came when Hulk Hogan called it the Silver Dome instead of the Superdome. It was just an extremely memorable segment that kicked off a show in a really exciting way. When those legends left, it was time to continue the legend of Daniel Bryan. The show kicked off with the leader of the Yes Movement taking on the King of Kings, Triple H. The stipulation being whoever won would be added into the main event of the show, alongside Batista and Randy Orton with the WWE World title on the line. A championship that Bryan had been screwed out of countless times, and it wasn't just for storyline purposes. The company actually wanted to suppress his popularity and connection with the fans in order to do what they wanted, which was Batista and Randy Orton. But they couldn't hold down him and his popularity, so they had to pivot. It was a multi-year build that saw Bryan gain traction, but never hold on to the WWE title for a sustained period of time. Long story short, it was the fans living vicariously through Bryan. He was the undersized underdog fighting the bosses who didn't want him to be higher up in the pecking order because he didn't fit a corporate image. This whole storyline was shown in one of the most legendary video packages of all time. The years of build-up, whether intentional or not, accompanied by Imagine Dragons' monster. Out came Triple H in an entrance that was straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. If you were new to wrestling, you could instantly tell that this guy was a certified legend. This was supposed to be Punk and Triple H. That didn't happen because of the whole Punk situation, so we had this. On the other end, Bryan entered with his shoulder taped up, so you could already tell that he was at a disadvantage. These two had a great opening match, but the result was never in doubt. Daniel Bryan won and advanced to fight for his dream, and then like a cutscene from a video game, Triple H left him laying to add more adversity for later in the night. Also on this show, we saw the first ever Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was won by Cesaro. I want to touch on this concept because I'm not going to go through all of them in this video because they really don't warrant to mention every single time. This was a concept that, like WrestleMania, could have evolved but it didn't.
Nope.
It could have been used to make new stars coming out of Mania and propel someone up the card.
It didn't happen.
Instead, this just became a lifeline for the WWE to add another match to the show, and they gassed it up as this being big time. The first one did feel big, but after that, it fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
It declined in the years that followed, so much so that it ended up being something that WWE does on SmackDown. They could have established this concept as something that gets the winner a title match of their choosing, or you have X amount of weeks to choose an opponent. Bottom line is, for being named after such a larger-than-life figure, it's such a short-sighted miss for the WWE. Elsewhere on this card, we had John Cena taking on Bray Wyatt, a match that ended up happening twice within a 6-year span
this was a really great match too. I just didn't like the
basis behind it all was that Bray was going to be the one who finally unleashed the underlying animal he believed was always inside of John Cena. That he would expose him and prove that this man who was larger than life was just a facade. Another great promo package, this time accompanied with Eminem's Legacy, and it hyped up how important this match was for John Cena, and how if he lost, he'd lose it all. Throughout the match, Bray continues to tell Cena to let the monster out, but when all is said and done, Cena won the match. We can't say the word win and talk about WrestleMania and not mention The Undertaker. And man, you guys already know what happened, but it bears repeating. As WrestleMania entered a new stage of existence, it was time to celebrate the past as well. Different themes, main events, superstars, venues, you name it. But the one constant through and through, hell or high water, dead or alive, good card or bad card, was The Undertaker, a man whose legend will always be attached to this show. The weight his streak had gave WrestleMania another layer, a layer which rode on the simple precipice of beating the man who became a god at this show. For 2 decades, Undertaker came into WrestleMania and left with his hand held high. Eventually, the win streak took on a life of its own. Every year it was a question as to who. Who would challenge? How would the match be? How would Taker top his legendary WrestleMania entrances? What would the reasoning be from the challenger? After a while, though, it was never really a question as to the streak coming to an end. In a profession where nothing lasts forever, it seemed like this legendary record would literally follow Undertaker to the grave. The streak truly became its own beast that lived within WrestleMania. After 2005, it reached such a high. Matches with Orton, Batista, Edge, the masterclass of storytelling and in-ring magic that he had with Shawn Michaels at Mania 25 and 26, legitimately what many consider as the best WrestleMania matches of all time. Legacy may have been played in the Cena and Wyatt match, but this man's legacy, just on this show alone, is something that words do not do justice. He gave us everything you'd want as a wrestling fan. Drama, storytelling. He was able to take you on the emotional ride that also helped whoever he was facing. All this was encapsulated in 2 words. The streak. I think I've gassed it up enough. You get it. This year's challenger was Brock Lesnar. Now, these 2 men weren't new to one another. Brock Lesnar had returned a few years beforehand after a dominant run in the UFC, and the stage was set. Early on in this match, Undertaker got concussed, with his last memory of this day coming at about 2 p.m. earlier that Sunday. And this match wasn't a Picasso by any means. It was not good. Right now, we'd be talking about how this match wasn't good if it wasn't for the ending. When Brock Lesnar hit The Undertaker with a third F5, pinned him, and ended the streak.
I was so amazed. I was so amazed.
After 21 wins, The Undertaker's WrestleMania win streak had been snapped. The reactions were exactly what we expected.
It was priceless.
Shock, confusion. This guy was just bewildered. As the graphic came up, it became very real, and it all set in. Undertaker had actually lost at WrestleMania. They actually did it. They actually pulled the trigger. All of this because Vince thought that Taker was just getting too old. As a fan, I both love and hate this. I love it because it was so out of the blue that when Brock pinned Taker, maybe WWE thought they were going to have this nuts reaction for Brock Lesnar, but it was the complete opposite. In a TV show where so much is predictable and so much is leaked, it's very rare you get reactions like this where it feels like something has gone wrong and you've truly seen something that is genuinely shocking. Why I hate it is because you have so many years of build gone just like that. It's not like this was some industry plant lambasted star. This was The Undertaker who had given his all to the WWE.
Amen. Definitely.
No one would have batted an eye if he retired 22-0, 25-0, 30-0. Regardless, the WWE actually did it, and in the process created not only a WrestleMania moment for the ages, but possibly a top 5 all-time moment in the company's history.
Yes.
Now it was the end of the night, and one question remained. Could Daniel Bryan win it all?
This
I use this reference
great
every
too.
time when describing this match. It was something straight out of a video game. From the booking, the match, the fact that Bryan had to wrestle 2 matches in one night, all while the Authority were providing cutscenes to bridge the gap. You had this underdog who wasn't supposed to be there, but just continued to fight despite everything that was being thrown at him, despite almost being carted off, despite being the smallest man in the ring, despite getting screwed over by a corrupt referee and even more corrupt Authority figures. At one point in this match, we got a Batista bomb into an RKO, which was the big spot of this match, but when the night closed, a simple knee to Batista followed by a label lock gave Daniel Bryan the win and completed the story. Daniel Bryan ran the gauntlet and put a stamp on one of the craziest nights in World Wrestling Entertainment, giving us one of the most iconic closing shots in WrestleMania history. The first of what would be back-to-back legendary shots to close the show. There he stood at the top of the world, on top of the announce table, while every fan flared their arms up and down as the entirety of Mercedes-Benz Superdome screamed one word, and that word was yes. This show had it all, and it became an absolute classic WrestleMania. New Orleans was treated to multiple big-time moments which were etched into the event's fabric. As good as it is, does it lean into the verge of overrated territory? You guys let me know. I don't know if I buy this being a top 5 WrestleMania like some would suggest. Regardless, this chapter was in the books. Fans were left with plenty to talk about. This year was built on the word yes. The next year,
we're gonna stop it right here. This was a really great video here. This video is like an hour long, but I'm gonna stop it right here. This will be part 1 of WrestleMania the 30s by Superkick Studios. This was a really good video. You know, like he was saying earlier. A lot of people saying the streak should not have ended. A lot of people saying that the streak, the Undertaker should retire undefeated at WrestleMania. And yes, it could be. That's true too. You know, I wish the Undertaker would retire undefeated at WrestleMania, but you know, sometimes they want to, like, you know, have Undertaker lose at WrestleMania. The streak had come to an end at some point, but I don't think nobody, including me, expected Brock Lesnar. To me, I really didn't think Brock Lesnar needed, because he was always established, and he's Brock Lesnar. He could do whatever he wants. He was always established. If you're gonna have Undertaker lose at WrestleMania, if you're gonna have Undertaker to lose the streak, and have somebody beat the streak, then you gotta have somebody that need that love, that need that attention, and also that need to get over. In my opinion, I feel like the one guy that shoved in the streak was Roman Reigns. In my opinion, because that could skyrocket Roman Reigns into a main event finisher early on, and you could have done that Trevor Chief storyline around that time. He could have made it work, definitely. So I feel Reigns should be in the streak. Also there's a lot of other people that could beat the streak. Bray Wyatt's another example. He could have used that. I always saw Bray Wyatt as the next Undertaker, as a future Undertaker, and God rest his soul, rest in peace Bray Wyatt. I really feel like the company did not understand Bray Wyatt. They really mistreated Bray Wyatt. They honestly did not know what to do with Bray Wyatt, which is such a shame. But I'm glad he's living a happy life up in the heavens with the Lord, and he's doing great things. So rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. And there's a lot of guys who could end the streak, but the one guy that shoved in the streak was Roman Reigns, and I didn't think Brock Lesnar should in the streak. So this is a really great video. If y'all enjoyed this, be sure y'all like and comment down below. If y'all want me for part 2, subscribe to my channel and comment down below. This is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74 signing off. Hope you guys have a great day and God bless.